Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last match, Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar. And as predicted, Brock Lesnar walked out Universal Champion.
Exactly that. The Beast standing tall, yet again, as always, the Beast can. We all thought for once but 3 times Braun Strowman was going to capture the WWE Universal title on more than 3 occasions, but his arm just couldn't stand up anymore, and the Beast, as usual, hit the F5. Strowman landed on his face, and Lesnar got the 1, 2, 3 and walked out Universal Champion.
That's right. He did, he walked out champion. But was it a smart business call? Maybe, I don't know. We'll soon find out in 3 months' time. They could have easily... Now this is the thing I want to just talk to you about. Now, I'm going to stay cool with this because they could have put the title on Braun Strowman, but they choose not to, and then they could have come to the Royal Rumble. Because I know what the WWE want. WrestleMania next year, they're going to have Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And Roman Reigns is going to win the Universal title. And that's already going to be talked about. But what they could have done is, for them months, because now that Brock Lesnar's going to be away from TV until the Royal Rumble, it's going to let Raw's ratings go down. Because there's no main attraction like a title. There's something like, when a feud happens, there needs that title there to be something to make it go outstanding, to go, oh yeah, they're actually fighting for something. They're fighting for a purpose. Not just a normal match, you know? Like, they needed that. But WWE haven't got the ratings that they have at the moment because people put up on Instagram that, you know, shows are not selling out. But yeah, WWE, that's fine for you. You can do camera angles, people, and make your shots look good on SmackDown and Raw. But remember, there's always people in the crowd that will do that kind of stuff. And they all know that you are not getting enough, you know, people inside the house shows. Tickets are really not selling. But, you know, why not do something like that? And especially because of Braun Strowman being on a dominant path, you know, the past few months, they've built up Braun Strowman to take on all these people. They've built him up. I'm glad they didn't do it last year. They were going to put Braun Strowman against The Undertaker. I still think if they did that, he would have a different kind of reaction. They built him up to be something a bit stronger, which is good, because when you build up a storyline, it gets good. Don't just give it to us. Make us something that there's something behind it. Make us wait for it. Let that slow build start and let it take off slowly. Let it just go. Don't just rush it, because when you rush something, that's when it fails. It will fail and fail and fail. And I honestly believe, as a fan, Braun Strowman could have carried that Universal title to the Royal Rumble. It would have been perfect. And then at the Royal Rumble, Brock Lesnar could have come back and said, yes, I'm coming back, and I'm going to take back my Universal title. And he could have come back and made a big impact, and made a strong impact, and took that title back. And because WWE want this one thing, and they could have had it, and they're going to do it. At WrestleMania, it'll be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, and they could have had their match at WrestleMania and done what they want and put that title on Roman Reigns, because that's what they want at the end of the day, and that's what they're going to do. And I am sick and tired of getting angry over something that they're not going to change. They're never going to change. They've got their guy. They know who they want, but the fact of the matter is, the people have spoken, and whether you make that choice or not is completely up to you. And I am not going to argue anymore, because I have had enough of arguing. There's no point, because my opinion does not matter. They don't care about the fans. They're fine with what they want. And you know what? I'm not going to argue, because there's no point arguing. they're always going to be right, and they're going to do whatever they want to do. And you know what? I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
Because you and I have been part of this show now for nearly 2 years.
Yeah.
And
now, when we say show, not WWE show, our own show on YouTube, King's Wrestling Talk, or our previous one, the Josh and Gregory King YouTube channel, wrestling YouTube channel, but we've changed it up to King's Wrestling Talk.
Yep, it has been pretty much outspoken and outspoken, but the thing is, the guys that the old wrestlers like The Undertaker and John Cena and Triple H and Shawn Michaels and even Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar, once those guys leave the WWE in the next few years, they're moving on. You know, those old guys, they're gonna be out of the business. They're gonna be moving forward to and once they're out of the equation, guys like Ambrose, Cesaro, Seth Rollins, Sheamus, even guys from our next NXT, they're coming up. You know, Bobby Roode could come up, Drew McIntyre, Jinder Mahal, as you can say, and even Finn Balor may take over, and even Roman Reigns may come up as the next WrestleMania main event. But as to Joshua's point, Vince McMahon, he's getting old. He's 70 years old. Is he? 70 years old, and to that point, is it time for Vince McMahon to? He's had more money. He's had more money than anyone else, and that's a real point to say. Vince McMahon has been the big dog that's owned WWE, and once he's retired and gone to heaven, who's gonna take over? Is it gonna be Shane McMahon?
Well, I'm gonna go with Triple H because he's the only guy that knows what he is doing there. No offense to the McMahon family, but Vince has lost his touch a long time ago. And that's the biggest thing about people like that. You know? And this is not there, and I know WWE is like a TV show. It is all scripted. And that's fine. I've said that before. It is fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when storylines don't make sense, for like now, Jason Jordan is getting booed out of the arenas because of poor storylines. I wouldn't, you just rush these things. You don't let something simmer and build. And they could have had this with Roman Reigns. They've tried. They didn't let it simmer. They forced it down our throats. And Greg, I'm going to be cool about this. You've made a connection with Roman Reigns, and that's fine, because everybody's allowed to have a different star who they can like, and that's fine. I've never had a problem with that. But people see different things, okay? People see different things. And as a wrestling fan, I just don't see my point with Jason Jordan, right? For instance, I'm going to say something like this. The storyline from this Raw just gone should have had a 4-week build-up. You know what I mean? The last week, I'm going to get really into this because this is actually starting to get really, really pissing me off lately.
I know where you're coming from. I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, and I'm not going to talk about Roman Reigns. I'm going to talk about Jason Jordan for a second. Jason Jordan has a lot of talent, right? He has a lot of talent. But when you tell somebody, okay, I'm giving you 1 week build-up to No Mercy, how are two people meant to make something out of a 1 week build-up? Would you want to see a match with 1 week build-up? I don't want to see it. I want to see something simmer over time.
Well, Jason Jordan, he has the potentials. He has the potentials to be a major superstar. He's not there quite yet, but when he starts growing up and gets into the big leagues, he'll become a major superstar like the John Cena's, the Roman Reigns, the Triple H's, the Seth Rollins, the Dean Ambrose, the Brock Lesnar.
But the thing is, Greg, this is my point.
Yeah.
The time that comes around,
Yeah.
he's going to be forgotten by the WWE, Greg, okay?
Yeah.
Because they're going to watch him now and go, nah, the crowd's not going for him. The crowd's not going for him. He's not getting what we want.
If Jason Jordan wants the respect from people, he's going to get it.
But this is the thing, Greg. This is the one thing that I'm not sure you get, and it really bugs me, is that it is scripted. Everything down to the last dime and dollar is scripted. They know who's going to win. End of that match, they know who's going to win. They've got everything scripted down to the bone.
Yeah.
They know who's going to win before they even walk out of that curtain, okay?
Yeah.
And that's fine, because I love it still. But the fact of the matter is, Greg, is they need better storylines, because a storyline, it's like watching a movie going, Greg, okay, you go watch this, you go to the cinemas and we watch a movie, you don't want, it's got to have a storyline, or what's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point of watching a movie if it doesn't have a storyline?
Well, that's the big fact.
Exactly, and that's what makes WWE, their storylines, that's what grabs you into it. And Maddie, hello, you were in the camera, you were just in it. She's going to hide away from the camera now, but you know what, she was in it, and that's fine. But the fact of the matter is, they've done the same thing with Roman Reigns. And at the same time, and probably it wasn't Roman Reigns' fault, because they had two guys, like, for instance, back in 2014, rolling into 15, I think. Yeah, 14 rolling into 15. Daniel Bryan just come back from injury.
Yeah.
December. Everyone wanted Daniel Bryan to win the Royal Rumble. And that's what the fans wanted. And you know, sometimes the fans don't get what they want all the time. And that's acceptable, you know. You're not going to get everything, you know. You got to savor them moments. But they went with Roman Reigns. Yes, they made a mistake. Did they? Yes, no. Was it Roman Reigns' time? You know. And it could have been. It was a 50-50. They took a 50-50 chance. Because everybody in that arena wanted Daniel Bryan to win.
Yeah,
It wasn't even questionable they wanted Daniel Bryan to win. And when he got eliminated that early, the crowd turned on everybody. Everybody, you know what? And you know what? It's funny. Roman Reigns probably couldn't have even won that match, you know? And I guarantee, if it was someone like Dolph Ziggler, they probably would have got the same reaction that Roman Reigns got. But the fact of the matter is, they went with Roman Reigns. Yes, it's not Roman Reigns' fault. It's the people backstage that do the scripting, that do the writing. You go, hey Roman, this week we want you to go out and do this. You know, this week, you know, your promos, we want a PG rated. Yeah, you know. I'm not physically angry at Roman Reigns, but I am sick of them pushing him down my throat week after week after week. Now, if it was a better storyline back then, time's passed. Okay, I made my decision. I don't want Roman Reigns. I made my decision. Time's not going to change that for me, unfortunately. And that's one thing now, is they can't go back and change that. When you push someone down, we're going to get reacted over it. We're going to fight back. And they know they've invested all this time and money into this guy, and now they've got no choice but to invest the money and the time, because why would you scrap something that you're invested a good 3 or 4 years in, that would be a waste.
Yeah.
It would be a waste. But like, they understand from their point of views, we're not going to just scrap this away. They're going to keep trying. And the fact of the matter is, they're going to keep failing.
Yeah, they sure are.
Because they're not going to have my respect over it. They're not going to have a lot of other people's respect. Yep, he has a few fans out there, and that's cool, you know? Because Roman Reigns is probably a good guy. He's probably a decent guy, you know? But it's bad scripting on WWE that we have to put up with. For tonight, instance, they are so desperate for Roman Reigns to get over. They want a crowd reaction where he comes out and they're all cheering him. You know?
Yeah.
And WWE would love that, you know, if he come out in the crowd, we're just cheering Roman Reigns, okay?
Yeah.
But I don't know if you realise this or not, but for instance, this is what annoyed me, is that John Cena gave him at least 4 or 5 attitude adjustments.
Yeah, and he kicked out.
Exactly. But it took one spear by Roman Reigns. That's how desperate the writers, you know, it's gonna make us more angrier. Someone like me, because I don't believe that. When I watch wrestling, I don't watch it because it's fake. I watch it because they are athletes. They are amazing superstars that put their bodies on the line.
And not to mention the girls as well.
Yeah.
They are all talented superstars.
Yeah, like, I understand it's probably not all real, but they do put their bodies on the line.
It's not just the men, it's the Divas Revolution that's taking over as well.
Yeah.
You look at girls like Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss, and Bayley, and Nia Jax, and Charlotte, and Becky Lynch, and even Naomi, and Emma, and all those girls, and even Asuka's coming into the equation.
Yeah. And you know what? They're probably going to stuff everything up with Asuka, and that wouldn't surprise me. And you know what? She had a undefeated title reign down NXT, and it wouldn't surprise me. As soon as she gets to the main roster, she'll lose one match. Now, a superstar like that, you don't take something like that away, because it makes them so fucking special. There's something like The Undertaker at WrestleMania, you know? Everyone can speculate, should that streak have ever ended? Honestly, I don't think it should have ever ended. But, saying that, it took Brock Lesnar on a fucking roll going straight up. It went straight up. It worked. But saying that though, going back to Roman Reigns, I don't know what they want with him. And now, like I said before, is that Brock Lesnar's gone away, and there's no title on Raw, and they've got no storyline that's gonna, you know, they could have had this months ago, Greg, with the Intercontinental title, right?
Yeah.
This is what I was trying to explain to you, right? They could have built up a storyline. They need somebody strong, like a Finn Balor, or a Jeff Hardy, or a Matt Hardy, or anybody that could have took that Intercontinental title tonight. Anybody, right? Unfortunately, The Miz just doesn't quite have it. He doesn't quite have it.
Well, you once were a Miz fan.
I am a Miz fan, Greg, and that's the thing. I am a Miz fan, but it's them writers out the back that don't know what they're doing. It's them writers that go to the superstars with their script of the week of what they got to say when they walk out.
Miz was the most must-see WWE champion of all time.
And what about the feud with Dolph Ziggler? That feud was awesome. I'll give them... That feud was amazing. That feud was absolute great. One of the best feuds I've ever seen. That had me off my seat shaking, going, oh my god, is Dolph Ziggler gonna get fired? You know, like, what the hell is going on? I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. And that's what I miss. I don't get like that anymore. Because everything is just too predictable. Because the whole thing is just too predictable.
And now there's also a possibility that Dolph Ziggler contract could be terminated anyway.
Exactly, because WWE don't do nothing with them. Look at someone like Ty Dillinger down at NXT. His role down at NXT was awesome. Move him up to the main roster. They're not doing much with him.
Give him a chance to get AJ Styles for the United States title, and look what happened. Baron Corbin gets involved.
Exactly. Shit like that, you know? And I don't understand. But that's what they're gonna do. But WWE put up a thing on the WWE Network the other day on what we would like to see on the network.
Yeah.
Will WWE, because they're so worried about losing ratings, and they're so worried about, you know, small things like why aren't we filling out a whole arena? Why aren't we filling out arenas like we used to back in the day? It's because, simple fact, like a Stone Cold Steve Austin had a personality. A Shawn Michaels had a personality. A Hulk Hogan had a personality. The list could go on and on. But the fact of the matter is, no WWE superstar in that locker room has a personality. But it's not them. It's the writers of what they want, and it's the directions on which Vince McMahon wants things to go.
You really do suck.
You really need to look at what you are doing to your business, because it's a sinking ship. It really is a sinking ship. You might have the elite of the elite talent on your shows, but it is a sinking ship. If it was, you know what? If it was WCW was in the prime of right now,